Hi everyone, it's Rochie and it's Thursday night once again here in New Jersey and California. And good morning, Manila. Welcome to another episode of Getting Candid with Rochie. So tonight is a special episode because 2020, we've all been busy and everything seems to became crazy for all of us. But one thing is certain, during that time of the pandemic, the hashtag self-care has been very rampant in all social media. We would see pictures of people putting on their face masks and say hashtag self-care, or somebody watching TV or a Netflix movie with some wine, no kids at all, and it's also hashtag self-care. Now, for all of us who are into social media and have been talking about self-care, we might be aware that this is my self-care, this is my quiet time. But what does self-care really mean? Is it all about the fancy smancy um, food? Is it about just being quiet? Is it reading a book? So tonight, our special guest will talk about the importance of self-care. What is self-care and why is it important not only in our mental health but physical health as well? So, if you have any questions, guys, don't forget the comment section is open and we'll try to answer your questions anytime during the show. And if you're watching this on replay, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Yes, I really appreciate that. If you are in YouTube, like this video or even share it right now to your other mom friends or other female friends who are thinking, I needed some self care, or you wanted some self care tips. So, with that, I want to introduce to our guest tonight. She is an author and a health coach. Please welcome Miss Holli Bassin.
Hi,
Hi,
thank you. Hi, Rochie.
Holly.
It's Holli Bassin, and I am a functional medicine health coach. That's like a long title.
I know, right? So I was like, I've been seeing that, but I'm like, I have no clue. But I will ask you that later. What does that mean? Because right now, if you're on YouTube or even in Instagram, you would see a lot of hashtag health coach, hashtag what's that, mindset coach, and all those coaching things. But you have something. That's why I'm very curious with that. It's called functional medicine. So that means it has something to do with the body, kids, right? So it's more than pampering ourselves. So with that, I want to go on to our first question. What is a health coach and what is the difference between a functional medicine health coach and what we know as the nutritionist or personal trainers who've been, helping us with our physical health wellness needs?
Well, that's a really good question, Rochie. So, as a health coach, I'm not allowed to diagnose or treat. Nutritionists have been trained in specific diets. So, what I do is I partner with a client. I educate the client, I empower the client, I listen to them like a human being, I help provide them with confidence, and I partner. I'm a member of the team of what they're working on with their doctor. And also anything that I say today, I'm not a doctor, I don't play one on TV.
Yep.
If you have a specific medical condition, you should always run it past your primary doctor, and you should never take anything that I say as medical advice or a medical opinion. So I help clients understand their diagnosis and help them come up or support the plan of care. I empower them to seek information and guide them to create their own personalized care plan. When you go to the doctor, you spend 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes with the doctor. And maybe you go to the doctor once a month. Usually it's once every 6 months. So I work with my clients usually every other week for an hour. And I also offer email, and I'm here to support whatever the client is going through. So basically that. I help them make decisions. I help them do research, and I basically help them improve behaviors. So I think we'll probably go a little bit further into what I do, but that's specifically the difference between a nutritionist who's trained in nutrition and a health coach. And in functional medicine, I've been trained to look for the root causes of disease, because we often put a Band-Aid, or we take Advil, or we try and treat the symptoms, but then we're not resolving the core issue. We want to figure out what is the core issue. Why is it that you feel tired? Why is it that you don't have any energy? Why are you depressed, in a bad mood? Why are you stressed all the time? So I help my clients feel less anxious, and I help them try to reverse the root causes of disease so that they can have not just a suboptimal or normal, but an optimal life. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, actually, that's an interesting thing, because, I have kids with food allergies, and I remembered, even though the doctor is very supportive, but most our allergist was very nice to say, oh, these are the things you avoid. But after that, you wouldn't know, like, what will I eat then? Because it's the avoidance. And I think that's what most health coach are there to see, to be a guide with the doctor. Like, if they, because I know most doctors say, oh, you're diabetic, that means no sugar. Then all of a sudden, like, what's next? Because that's, they're just there. I think one of your jobs is, well, your service is as a health coach is actually to see not only their diet, but what are the other things they're feeling, and they could tell it to their primary doctors, right?
Yeah, I support whatever like I have a client right now who has SIBO, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth. And she's on a FODMAP diet, which is, low FODMAP. And she's taken a lot of things out of her diet. And so now we're actually adding things to the diet to help diversify her microbiome.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an example. So I asked her, and this was just the other day, I asked her, well, what is it that you can add to your diet? And so we came up with herbs.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm.
For example, oregano. Oregano oil is an antimicrobial, and just adding oregano, wild or grown oregano from your yard, can really help diversify the microbiome.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. So oregano oil, or even eating more oregano, is that it?
Yeah, just add it to your food, and nobody would think of that. Or if the doctor says you're diabetic, stop eating sugar, I try to crowd out. I try to add things to the diet, or help you think of things that are not from a bag or a box or a carton.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy things. I'm in a coach panel on Thursdays at 3:00 every week. We talk about a different subject, and just today, since today's Thursday, we talked about a diet. One of the women in the coaching circle lives in a town, and there's a new service. It's a new diet. I don't even know the name of the company, but she was reading off ingredients. Somebody decides they want to go on this diet, and they go home with all this packaged food. Well, if you have packaged food, what do you think is in the food? If the food is going to last on the shelf for 18 months, what do you think is in that food to help it stay on the shelf for 18 months and not go bad. What do you think is going to happen when that goes into your body? Those are toxins. Those are substances that aren't good for your body. And when your body eats foods that have microtoxins or things that are unhealthy, you're doing a triple damage to your body. First of all, you're not getting the nutrients your body actually needs. Second of all, your body you're ingesting these things. And third of all, your body has to get rid of it, and it doesn't have the co-nutrients it needs to get rid of it. So it's a triple harm. So I try and educate as to what it does to the body, why it's so important to eat whole foods and not packaged foods.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's interesting because I remember too, there are some of those diets and they're packaged. I was looking at the package, like the serving portion. I said, if I eat that much, I would really lose weight because it's tiny. And like compared to like your fresh salads or vegetables, I'm like, I could eat more than that. So I would literally lose weight because it's the tiny portion. So anyway, it's one of those things like, yes, you're not hungry because you're not digesting it, like those things. But
it's interesting that you said salad because a lot of people go to a fast food restaurant and they eat things that aren't healthy, right? However, the fast food restaurants still sell salads. So that we would call a transition food because a salad is better than a hamburger.
Yeah.
But the bad thing is the dressing. You could goop it up with goopy stuff. And I don't know, you'd have to analyze each individual person and each individual situation. I can't say what's good and what's bad, but you have to look at the whole picture. Is somebody who's eating a salad at a fast food restaurant is probably healthier than somebody who's eating a hamburger at a restaurant. So it's about learning to change your diet and lifestyle habits and educating yourself about what's best for your unique body. Because everybody's body is different. Everybody has different genetics, and not everything genetic. It's genetic, diet, and lifestyle. I'm gonna have to drink some water.
Yeah, actually, I was like laughing at that one as well because a few times before I want to order salad from, because my kids are saying at that time said, I want to eat healthier. And they're like, oh, we're going to this fast food chain. Why don't you just order the salad? And I told my kids, I'd rather buy the dollar burger than the salad because I look at the, what's everything inside the salad and the portion. It's like 2,000 calories on that salad alone. I said, the tiny dollar burger is only like a few calories. I think it's better for me instead of eating my whole meal on that one time, right? And they're like, we never realized that, Mom. Yeah, because you put like the blue cheese, the fried chicken cutlet in it, and dressing cheese, like all those things. And I'm like, that's too much.
What I'm saying is, if you're going to eat a salad, it's in a fast food restaurant. You're better off eating the salad than the hamburger. But you have to look at each. I mean, you just described a chicken that was fried that you put on the salad. That's not healthy. But if the salad had, if you didn't have allergies to nuts, and the salad had nuts on it or avocado is a healthy fat, and avocado is much healthier than eating hamburger. So you have to look at each situation differently.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So anyway, being a health coach, do you go to school for it? You need to be certified?
I went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in 2014. 2015, and then I studied at the School of Applied Functional Medicine. So I'm certified. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is functional medicine for those of us who are not aware of it?
Functional medicine looks for the root causes of disease in the body.
Hmm. And then you will check what is the body's deficient with or something like that.
It looks for the root causes of disease. So,
Mm.
in other words, if you have brain fog, um, a root cause could be gluten,
Mhm.
or if you get headaches all the time, a headache is a gift. A headache is a symptom, and your body is trying to tell you something that something is wrong. So we look at symptoms as it's telling us that something's wrong. So a headache could be a deficiency in magnesium. It could
Mhm.
be lack of sleep. It could be dehydration. It could be a number of things. So we take a symptom and we try to break it down based on other pieces of
Yeah.
information in that particular whole person. And we try and puzzle piece. We try and figure out what is causing the headache instead of giving
The medicine, the tablet, right?
uh, allopathic medicine is a pill for an ill. You have XYZ symptom and we give ABC medication, and so that just dampens the symptom, but it doesn't resolve the root issue.
Yes, issue. Yeah. So
We
that is.
try functional medicine, we try and figure out, well, why are you having
Mhm.
a headache?
Which is good because I know, it's as a mom who had children with food allergies and one is under observation for celiac. I know, like those little symptoms like bloating, and I would say, Mom, something is itchy or something, it took us a long time to be properly diagnosed. And I think those are just the symptoms that we need to watch out for instead of just putting, oh, you need to take this allergy medication. You need to do this, like, because I remember telling my doctor before, I don't want my child to be drugged. Like, because you need something for the headache, you need something for runny nose, you need something for the cough. And I'm like, yeah, he doesn't have the symptoms anymore because he's like a walking zombie.
So,
Right?
it, in functional medicine, we always look at the gut
Hmm.
because the gut is the second brain, and the gut is connected to the brain through the vagus nerve. So, a lot of in the gut, the microbiome, the blood. Let me say this:
Yeah.
um, the the gut and the bloodstream, there's only one cell difference in between, right?
Hmm.
So we can start breaking down the tight juncture. The tight junctures are like, very tight, like my in between my fingers. You can't get through, you can't get through, you can't get through.
Yeah.
But we start eating things that our body's allergic to, a lot of times gluten from glyphosate,
Hmm.
and the tight walls in the gut lining, they come apart. And so food, undigested food,
Or pastor.
goes past through and it gets into the bloodstream. And then the immune system says, that's not supposed to be there. And the body
Yep.
goes crazy. The immune system goes
Yep.
crazy, right? And
Hmm.
so, because all of these antibodies start becoming rampant, right? We start making IgG antibodies, IgG, IgM, IgE, IgA. There are different antibodies for different things. And then it creates inflammation, right,
Hmm.
in the bloodstream. And the bloodstream goes throughout the entire body. So you can have a symptom of what's going on in the gut anywhere in the body. So that's why we have eczema, or our eyes get swollen,
Yeah.
or maybe, older people might have inflammation from leaky gut, and their knee might, they might have trouble with their knee or their hip,
Yes.
or anything. So the knee or the elbow or the hip or the skin is just a victim of what is going on in the gut.
Okay.
And I know the difference between IgE and IgG because I have a daughter who, soon after she was born, we discovered she had life-threatening food allergies. So I've been there as a mom. So
Yeah. Speaking of that, you wrote a book which is entitled "From Anaphylaxis to Buttercream."
yeah,
So I read that. I read that book. It's a very interesting. So can you give us,
I
our
pulled it out.
viewers, a gist on what the book is all about? See, it's very pretty. It is a very pretty cover, and it's very interesting. Yeah.
Everybody always asks me, is it a cookbook? There's a cover. It's not a cookbook. It's a memoir. The reason I put a picture of a cupcake on there is I live in Needham, Mass, and there's a bakery called Treat Cupcake Bar. And the story is a memoir. It's the amazing story of how one mother helped her daughter work through life-threatening food allergies. And we went through the first 10 years of our life, the first 10 years of my daughter's life. We did everything we could to help keep her safe from the things she was allergic to. I had started a company called Your Food Allergy Coach, where I was doing workshops for parents of children with food allergies about food allergy etiquette. And I was doing workshops in preschools and religious schools on what to do in an emergency situation and how to keep kids safe in the classroom. And I was doing EpiPen training.
Yeah.
I wasn't showing anybody how to use the EpiPen. I was using a video from the pharmaceutical company. But, the reason there's a picture of a cupcake on my book is we were in Treat Cupcake Bar, and my daughter had progressed to being able to eat a quarter of a cupcake through her desensitization process. And I was like, this is so amazing. I absolutely have to write a book about this, about our story. So the story starts from my daughter's birth, from when we discovered that she had life-threatening food allergies. And actually, before we discovered she had life-threatening food allergies, she was diagnosed with hydronephrosis. If anybody knows what that is, it's kidney reflux.
Okay.
So her kidneys in utero were getting backed up. So from the time she was 4 weeks old, the urologist didn't want her to get kidney infections, so that she put her on a prophylactic antibiotic. Well, at the exact same time that her immune system was being born, that she was a regular vaginal birth, so she had all that good vaginal bacteria. Yep, that's really healthy, and she was a breastfed baby. So thank God, because otherwise she would have been a lot worse. But she was on these prophylactic antibiotics, and then we discovered that she had food allergies when she was a couple months old. And the book talks all about our journey as a food allergy family. Then when she was 10, 2014, we started working with a nutrition and health coach who devised an integrative method of systematic desensitization. So we first balanced her microbiome to make sure that her immune system was strong and her microbiome was strong and in balance. And then we started a desensitization process by giving her tiny, minute amounts of the things she was allergic to. And after it was a little more than 2 years, we reversed. Now, I don't want to say cure, because disease can take a different pathway. Now she's eating eggs, dairy, and mustard, which were the three main things that she was allergic to.
Yeah. So actually, that's a good story because for those younger moms, I would say, or moms with kids who are, newly diagnosed with food allergies, there is still hope because my kids have been grown up. I would say my two kids with a lot of food allergies are going to junior high and freshman next year. So we've been there and I know there is hope because I would say during our time when we had our kids diagnosed, we don't have much information in the internet. There's nothing. I would always say there's not even a law from the FDA that requires food, packaged food to have labels of the allergens. So that's what we call like old school food allergies. It's more of a trial and error. So anyway, but at that time we were more hopeful that things would, they would outgrow it. There'll be changes in their body because we didn't have like the horror stories that that was published all these years. So for those moms who are scared, who are like confused on what to do, or like having anxieties because of their children's food allergies, your book is one of those that not only gives hope but actually gives you a step by step, like this really happens, this is normal. It's not like
Well,
you're the only exception.
It's not a step-by-step guide as to how to do it. It's how we did it because everybody's different. And the women that worked with us didn't want me to share too many details about how we did it because she didn't want anybody to have an anaphylactic reaction. You really need to work with somebody who's trained professionally to do this desensitization process. And that's not what I do now, but I have been from anaphylaxis to buttercream. And now actually my husband, my younger daughter and I are not eating dairy because we have an IgG sensitivity, and the sensitivity is different than an allergy. There are two different antibodies. IgE is the true allergy. That's people who are walking around with an EpiPen, which I'm sure you're very aware. IgG is more of a food sensitivity. So it's more digestive and it's more, like I talked about, getting into the bloodstream and causing inflammation. It's not as an immediate reaction. It's a long-term symptom type of reaction.
That causes you to wonder, right? What is going on?
But I'll hold it up one more time. You can find it on Amazon.
Yes. Actually, I'm going to put a link in there for those who are watching. I will put a link in the description box on where you can get the book and more things about Holli. So speaking of when we did like those, I was just talking about moms who are having anxieties, panic attacks, COVID, I would say COVID fear, or even just the breakdown. Because I know being a woman, being a mom will always be a stressful situation for all of us. And yes, 2020 introduced that word self-care. So what is self-care? That's what the first question I tried to ask, because most people are saying self-care is mostly about beauty products right now because they become synonymous with it, right? It's putting on the face mask, putting on like certain creams. But what really is self-care?
So it's interesting you asked that question because I just wrote a blog post about why self-care is so critical to our health. It's really important to take care of yourself before you take care of your children. When you're on an airplane, you just mentioned this, when you're on an airplane, you need to put on your own oxygen mask before you can help the person next to you. And definition of self-care, and I found a doctor, a licensed psychologist in Connecticut, who who I'm going to quote her. I can't pronounce her last name, but Marnie is the first name. It's self-care is anything that you do for yourself that feels nurturing. It can be something that's relaxing or calming, or it can be something that's intellectual or spiritual, or it can be physical, like something you do that's physical or practical, or something that you need to get done. And it's very important to check in with ourselves and make sure that our basic needs are being met. And we're always running around the house. I don't know about you, but I'm privy to it too. It's 10 o'clock and I need to go to bed. And I realize I have a load of laundry in the dryer and I need to go downstairs and get a glass of water. And I want to make sure my daughter knows she has an appointment tomorrow. And like, there's 100 things and I need to be laying down in bed vertical because otherwise my body's not going to do any self-repair and I won't fall asleep. But we can't take it for granted. We need to take care of ourselves because emotional stress can turn into physical stress. And then physical stress and physiological stress causes or can cause disease in the body. And it starts with just taking a step back, closing your eyes, and taking a deep breath and let it out. We can't do it all.
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting because sometimes that's what we always need, or what we always forget to do is take that deep breath and say, yes, we're always rushing and rushing.
There's a lot of things we can do to take care of ourselves that don't cost any money. There's tapping, which I teach a tapping class, and I'd be happy to do that for you guys. You can keep a journal, right? You can keep a gratitude journal. Have you ever heard of the Sunrise Manifesto?
No.
It's a guided morning journal. You can just keep a journal. I'm not used to this camera thing, but Mind Clutter Daily or 3 things I am grateful for. It really changes the way you look at things and your perspective. And just keeping a gratitude journal every day. Or there are other things we can do like write and burn. If you don't want anybody to see what you're grateful for, I don't know why, but what you can do is write it down, right? I'm grateful for. Or you might even go further. You might decide that you want to write down a couple of things, just get it off your mind because maybe you can't afford a therapist or whatever. You don't want anyone to see it because you live with 4 little kids and you'd be embarrassed if they say, just burn it. But the important thing is that you acknowledged your thoughts and you were true to yourself. It's about being true to yourself and acknowledging your needs. So
that is quite interesting because there was a few, I think we had one show as well, and one of my guests, she said she has her bi-weekly trip to the nail salon. She just wanted to have her pretty nails and her toenails because that is her quiet time away from her 2 sons. And when mommy is there because she's relaxing, the water, the little massage, and just that almost 2 hours in the salon will let her think and remove all the stress away. And then every time she gets stressed throughout the week, she'll just look at her nails and say, oh, I remember the feeling of, having this pretty nails. And she said, that's my self-care. And I'm like, and it's not about the vanity, but it's what it is, it's meaning towards me. And I think that is what most people don't understand about self-care. They think it's just vanity, but it's not, right?
Yeah, you really need to make sure that you take care of yourself. And you can't society says that if we do take care of ourselves, that we're being selfish. It's not true. We need to take our physical health, our emotional health. We need to reduce stress. And everybody has something else that they need to do for themselves that somebody else wouldn't value. So you have to figure out, what is it that you value that's important to you?
So what do you think are some other things we could do for those who are not writers or they don't like to write? What are other self-care tips that you could suggest?
I have a long list of things that you can do to reduce stress, because stress is really important, and they sort of, in a Venn diagram, they marry a lot of self-care activities like prayer or Reiki, or if you have a pet, deep breathing exercises, laughing, exercise, maybe going out into nature, smelling things that make you feel good, right? There's essential oils, pedicure, massage. There's so many things that you could do for yourself. And I don't know if you told your viewers, I am actually running a self-care program this summer.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But I just want to ask this question first, which is, for those, what can you say to those moms who have small children, or, who are working 2 jobs or more, or have so many hats with them? What can you tell them about self-care, because most of them feel guilty of spending an hour or two for themselves once a week?
We're always told that by society that the me time is an indulgence, that it's selfish. And it's not selfish, because you have to fill your own cup first. You can't give to your children, or to, even if you don't have children, you can't give to your community if your cup isn't full yourself. Think about a pitcher of water. Well, this is a glass, but think about a pitcher of water, and think about little shot glasses, for example. You can't fill a shot glass unless you have the pitcher is full, right?
Yeah.
It starts from one place and then it runs downhill, right? It has to come from somewhere. Energy starts somewhere. And if your cup isn't full, then you're not going to be able to give your energy, or whatever it is your child needs. You're not going to be able to give it to them unless you're filled first. And that's what I talk about, nourishing yourself. And it could be with anything. It could be meditation. I would highly recommend meditation or tapping. Often we say we don't have time. And I see so many people on the internet, on Facebook, on Instagram. It is such a time suck. You don't need to know.
Exactly.
You don't need to know what your next door neighbor is doing. It's not important. What's important is that you close your eyes and take a moment to breathe.
That is very interesting, because I would say in our generation we only have the telephone, and you can't stay one telephone in the house, one line, and you can't stay there for the longest time because nobody else can receive calls. So you have to be, you have to do something on your own, either read a book or something else while somebody's using the phone. But now everything's there. We have internet, we have the cell phone, we have what? Laptop. We have too much information and we tend to not really have time for ourselves, right? We think we don't have time for ourselves, but we do, right? And you know what? A friend of mine, it just came to my mind. She just said, if you can just track, because the Instagram, Facebook, they also have that I would say function in it that says how much time you spent on Instagram for the week or for Facebook. You would see how long your usage is. Sometimes you'll be surprised, like, oh, for the whole week, I was here for like 5 hours on
Mhm.
Facebook, not including Instagram, not
It's
including Twitter.
it's actually not good for your brain. It doesn't give your brain time to process other information. And then there's the FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Out.
You don't need to know what's going on in somebody else's life if your life isn't taken care of. It's not an escape. You're avoiding what it is that you need to do for yourself. So put it down, put it away, turn it off. It's interesting. My 18-year-old, it must have been last year, maybe she was 17. She accidentally left her phone in her room when we went on a ski trip.
Oh.
And you know what? We all agreed that was the best thing ever, because even though we couldn't figure out where she was on the mountain, there was always somebody with her. So, because of safety, we were skiing, but it was so good for her not to constantly be tied to the leash.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that you can do. Consciously turn off your phone for at least an hour and just lay down and stop looking at social media.
Yep. Everybody's guilty, I think, of that.
And you won't believe how much extra time you have in your life. They can wait. I mean, especially if the kids are in bed, everybody's home. There cannot be an emergency in the next hour that you can't spend time taking a bath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is interesting. So, speaking of self care again, I think you have an event coming up soon, which is a 7-day program. And I think, moms, if you are there right now listening, try to book these dates because you need it. I would say it's a retreat for you, and not only a retreat but a treat on its own. And
Yes.
it's a recharge day for you. I say recharge week for all of us. So can you tell us more about it?
So yes, I put together this amazing program, and I have a number of people who've been working with me on it. Oops, I think we
Oh yeah.
lost. I
No,
think
we're good. Go
okay.
ahead.
So the care package, and it's actually going to be a physical care package that I'm going to mail to you. It's going to include, well, for the people in Massachusetts, the person who did my photo shoot for my headshots, Elaine Freitas, is going to do a mini photo session. So if you're in New Jersey, I don't know if that would apply to you, but everything else will. Olga Goldberger is going to offer her a full-size product of her Arboretum skincare to help nourish the skin, and her products do not have any emulsifiers in them. Remember, I'm a functional medicine health coach,
Yeah.
so it's really important that your mitochondria has the correct nutrients. So that's number 2, day 2. I'm doing a tap away stress video to help reduce stress. I'm going to offer an autographed copy of my book so that you can read it and relax and be inspired by my journey. Ginger Burr, who is an image consultant, put together a 10-minute video on how to make over your closet, and she's offering a $50 coupon for color analysis. Kathy Fritz, who's a hormone coach, she put together an energizing roll-on with essential oils, and we're doing a peppermint foot scrub so that you can have an in-home pedicure. And then our last thing is representative from Juice Plus. She is going to offer chews, snacks, and shakes so that you can nourish your body and feel amazing. And there are a couple other little bonus things that we haven't finished yet. The program starts July 23rd. And the night before, I think it's July 22nd, we're going to have a group video. Now, the program is on my client management software. So what I will do is I will release a module each day, and it'll tell you to log in to the program, and you'll be able to see what you have to do that day. And then once you're in the program, the modules will stay live. So if you miss it one day, you can log in the next day. And then I'm going to have, I didn't purchase them yet, but I'll have, each day there'll be an envelope. And here's my, the labels that I'm going to put each day, like that's day 7 and then the bonus day. Each day you'll open a different envelope directed by the program emails that come out. And so the last day to sign up is July 7th, and I'm offering any of Rochie's friends 20% off on the package. But don't forget, I have to put together all these packages and mail them to you. So it's a really good deal for you. It's a $500 value for $100, and then 20% off. That would be $80. So it's a really good deal.
It is. Yeah, it is an amazing deal. Yeah, because actually for those who are like wondering, what is it again? Okay, so it's a little gist because Holly explained it to me before. It's a 7-day program, but before the program, let's see. That's why I said it's a self-care boot camp or something. Before the 7 days, you will receive a self-care package, which has day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. So on the day of the event, like on day 1 of the event, you can open your day 1 packet, right?
Do you want me to share the screen again?
Oh, no, it's fine. It's okay. So there's like a day 1 packet, and you could do, what is the session for that day, which helps you on your self-care process. So it's a whole 7-day process. So the good thing about it is that it's a very, I would say we have some interaction with it, because you're not only listening to a video, because it's on video, guys. So don't worry if you have different time, I would say on time schedule, like in Jersey or in California, you are watching videos. So you can do it anytime during day 1, maybe first thing in the morning or the last thing you're going to do at night. So that's a good thing. So,
and I'll release the modules. I'm building modules so that each day you'll receive a different module. It will be available to you. Right now, the modules are closed and I'm still building them, but they're there. You just can't see them. They'll open one day at a time.
Yeah, so it's like a surprise. I think right now, if you sign up, there are already 2 videos. Or modules that are there?
Well, there's going to be 7 modules, but so far I've put 2 into the system. There's actually 4 in the system. 2 are available right now as soon as you sign up, just so that you can get acclimated to the program and see what it is. But the first module number 1 on the first actual day isn't going to be available until July 23rd.
Yeah. So that's a good thing I like about this program is that there's a surprise every day that you can't see it. And like, okay, I'm gonna do one now and then tomorrow, which is, I would say, it's very interesting for all of us, and of course for those who have, I would say, limited time. I've been there. I have 4 kids. You can't be sitting down in the computer for like 2 hours in one day, so you have that little things to do every day. And you also have your amazing goodie bag. You will receive it ahead of time, so you would know what to do, how to use them. And I think it's a good, yeah, it's a good retreat for all of us, or a treat for us, especially after having a crazy 2020, or even 2021 is still crazy for most of us. So I think that is a good one. So the information is there. You can, if you are interested to, or just curious about it, just go to her website. The link is there, right now on the screen, and I will post it again in the description box later on. And you can just go there, and then we'll have the coupon code, which is Rochie 20 for a 20% discount. And guys, when Holly was explaining things to me, when she was just telling me about the goodie bag, I'm like, that goodie bag is over $80 or over $100 already, not including the modules that they are teaching you how to take care of yourself. And I think that's already a bonus from the goodie bag that you'll receive. Am I right, Holly?
Yeah, I worked really hard on it, and I have somebody working with me, my social media consultant, Sarah, is working really hard to help me put this together as well. So I'm just not working on it myself. I just have somebody helping me, and all the people who are partnering with me are also working to put the videos together. So it's a lot. It's a really professionally done program, and you'll really enjoy it.
Okay. So for those of you who are interested, or maybe you didn't know like the first half of this video, I will be posting a blog post about the
Oh,
coming event, and it will have all, you will see all the goodies that are included in the goodie bag, and also some of the titles of the modules on each day, so that it will entice you to just like, what, oh, I want this. And I think one module will be what, about an hour, or
I know the video about the closet makeover to create calm. There's 2 videos, and together they're about 10 minutes. One is talking about how to clean out your closet, and the other one is talking about how important you are in doing so. And then I'm going to put together a stress video. I haven't received everything yet because it's still a couple of weeks away, but I can share it if you want, but
yeah, it's fine. So see, so I think in one day, the maximum of all the videos, do you think is about like 2 hours or an hour? It's not that much. I think
no,
it's
I think
not a it's
that
not like a whole day event for
no,
them,
I'm
right?
keeping them short. I ask people to only do 10 minutes because people don't have time, and I want them to embrace, even if it's one of the days it's an in-home pedicure. So it'll explain what to do, but spend as much time as you want soaking your feet. If you have an hour, soak your feet for an hour. Doesn't matter if you want to smell the essential oils or use the roll-on, then go ahead and do so. But each day is about 10 minutes, and then it'll live there. So once it's available, if you miss a day, you can just do it the next day. You can be a day behind. You have to do what's best for you according to your own schedule. But I don't want people to get overwhelmed, so I'm only
Mhm.
releasing one module each day.
So see, ladies, if you can have a date for yourself for 10 minutes, make it 20 because you're opening your day one packet, right? You have that quiet time that we always say your self-care time for 20 minutes. Maybe tell the kids you can watch one movie, not even a movie, one 30-minute show, and you can have your 30 minutes probably in the bedroom. Yes, I used to do that when my kids are younger. I go hide inside the closet for my me time, and I tell them, actually the worst is when I go to the bathroom. She would say, I'll be here for 20 minutes in the bathroom, don't bother me until it's an emergency. So they'll be watching for 30 minutes, and after that, you had your self-care. So this is an awesome thing to do. So ladies, let's put the date. So the sign up is due July 7th, and the event starts on July 23rd. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a date, July 23rd. And I think you can do that. And it's summer. So your kids probably, you know what? Here's a good tip. If you have smaller kids, let them run around for an hour or two when they had their nap, because and then after here's the thing, let them run around in the park. When they're tired, go home, eat, shower, and I bet they will fall asleep and you have your time off on that nap time. So, and you will see, it's self-care isn't that hard. At least we need to recharge. Right, Holly?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I need to recharge. It's almost my bedtime.
I know, right? So, ladies and guests, and those who are watching, thank you so much. And I will see you next week on another episode of Getting Candid with Rochie. Make sure to come back on this replay video and also head over to the Frugalista Mom website, because I'll be posting details about this wonderful event with Holly, and probably next week. So it will be sometime Monday or Tuesday. So just head over there, and don't forget we have a 20% off if you use the code Rochie. That's ROCHIE 20, and below is her website. And I hope to see you soon. And Holly, do you have any last words to them?
No, but thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to you joining us on the program.
I will. So, yes, ladies, I will be there because I need some self-care too after having two kids who graduated this year for a crazy 2021 school year. So, guys, good night and hope to see you again next week. And don't forget, you cannot give what you do not have, so always fill your cup first. And welcome, and that is self-care. Welcome, Holly, and welcome, guys. Thank you so much. See you. Bye.
Bye.